Good evening. My name is Sidonia Moulton, and I am 39 years old. I started abusing drugs at the age of 15. That lifestyle became my best friend. I felt so lonely and unloved. I attempted suicide a few times, which brought me to the bottom. In August of 2008, I got arrested, and a judge gave me a choice to go to the Bridgeport Rescue Mission or go to jail for 8 years. I chose the mission because it was much easier and I would have some freedom. I felt good there. However, after a few months, I thought I was done, so I left. Wandering around the streets, it didn't take long to hit bottom again. I felt different this time. I found a Bible, picked it up, and read from the book of Jonah in the Old Testament. From the inside of the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord. In my distress, I called to the Lord, and he answered me. From the depths of the grave, I called for help, and you listened to my cry. I called and surrendered and asked if I could come back to the mission. Nancy DeMailey said yes, and I graduated the New Life Discipleship Program in November of 2009. Today, I attend Housatonic Community College. I have a grade point average of 3.89. I have my own apartment, and I am a member of Crossroads Community Church. I work at the school in the evening division office. I have a kitten named Winky and a boyfriend, Tyrone, who treats me like the lady that God designed me to be. Oh, excuse me. Today, I can see clearly now. All the clouds are gone. What I can see is back into the past. I can see all that I went through. I invite you to take a look back with me to see what happened then. I can see how dark and lonely I really was. I can remember beginning when I was 5, my father beating my mother, and soon after, my stepfather beating her. I had no one to turn to, no one to tell. I always thought I had friends, only they abandoned me when it came to my needs. I guess in reality, I was friendless. I remember sitting under a tree, and everyone walked by me as if I was invisible. I was filthy and dirty, and my clothes smelled. There were weeks when I had the same clothes on. My hair was matted down. Maybe they were afraid of me. I got clean clothes from a nearby church donation center, but they still didn't see me. I was just so lonely. If only someone would have told me that God loved me. Hungry, there were days I would go without food. The drugs were more important. When I did get hungry, I would watch people throw away their food in the garbage cans. There were times all I had to eat was a bag of chips and a 25-cent juice. If only the town I was in had a mobile soup kitchen so I could have a hot meal at least once a week. Maybe they would have told me that God loved me. Today, I look back and see how invisible I was to my children. I had 3 children during this terrible time. After my first child, my moms had to step in because I was drinking so heavily. I had my second child, and he was with me for several years. And then my drinking was out of control. Mom stepped in again. Then I had my third child, and the Department of Social Services took all my children. Again, my mom stepped in, and they gave the children to her. Dark days. How could God have loved me? I can see now how much danger I put myself in by sleeping in abandoned cars, in buildings, dark hallways. I remember walking down dark and dirty streets at night with no place to go. I was so lonely. If only someone had stopped to tell me that God loved me. I went many times to see my mom's, and she would look right through me as if I wasn't there. Maybe if she looked, she could not bear what she would see. All I ever wanted from her was a hug and to tell me that everything was going to be okay. There were times when I was just plain tired of it all. The drugs, the streets, the people, even myself. I would go into the nearest abandoned building and cry and ask God why I was living. I had no purpose. I would cut myself to relieve the pain I felt inside. Excuse me. Oh, if I only knew that God loved me. Finally, I reached my lowest of lows and had that choice of the mission or jail. I arrived at the Bridgeport Rescue Mission on August 8th of 2008. Nancy DeMailey. Met me at the door. Excuse me. She gave me a hug, told me everything was going to be all right, and that God loved me. All I ever needed to hear was in one sentence from one woman. Today, I walk with my head held high. Well, as high as I could get it. I work as staff on the weekend for the mission in the women's home. It is there that I help the girls see down the road to what their future can be. When I am at the bus station or at school, I tell people that God loves them. I am Jesus' little princess. Today, I am not invisible because I have the light of Christ that shines through me. I wear it proudly. Today, I know that God loves me. Thank you. Okay,